Joining me now, Kentucky Republican Congressman and House Judiciary Committee member Thomas Massie is back. Let's get sassy with Massie. Welcome back, sir.
Thanks, Kennedy. It feels like Groundhog Day, because last March we were passing a $2 trillion bill, except instead of seeing my own shadow, I'm being shadowed by mountains of debt here in Washington, D.C. The irony here is Republicans are complaining about all these things that have been stuffed into this $2 trillion bill, but those were the same things that were stuffed into it a year ago when this was Trump's bill. There's money for National Endowment for the Arts, money for the National Endowment for Humanities, the National Museums. There's foreign aid in it. It's chock full of all the same goodies that was in the Republican/Trump bill 1 year ago, almost to this day.
It's too much money. It's too much money. It's unsustainable. And a lot of this money is going to states that don't need it. 47 of the states that are going to get this money will have surpluses. And a lot of local governments have surpluses. It's interesting because property tax revenues have gone down in a lot of places, but they're flush with money right now, oddly enough. And it's the opposite of what we thought was going to happen during the pandemic.
Yeah, that is one new thing that's in this bill that wasn't in the bill last year, all the bailouts to the blue states. And one thing that really bothers me about this bill is there's more money for the governors who did the worst jobs. Like, the higher the unemployment you caused by your shutdowns and lockdowns, the more money you get. This just incentivizes them to keep things closed for a longer period of time.
Yes, and create more misery, but still, look like you're trying. Write a book about it if you're Andrew Cuomo, or promise $6 billion to schools if you're Gavin Newsom. I hope they throw both those guys out, because they are the failed poster children of pandemic excess and authoritarianism. So there's a lot of talk that 2022 could be a sea change for Republicans. What would be the downfall of Democrats, and do you actually see Republicans taking control of the House in a year?
Well, I think they might overplay their hand tomorrow. There's also going to be a gun bill on the floor, and I call it the universal gun registry, because it's going to require every gun bill to have paperwork. Every gun bill, when you pay your bill to buy your gun, purchase. So that's I think the only thing moderating their extreme socialist policies is the fact that they want to maintain their majority in the midterms, but it's so slim, and I think they're going to lose it because they're continually pulled to the left by Bernie Sanders. Even Bernie Sanders says tomorrow's COVID bill is one of the most progressive bills he's ever seen. So they're just pandering to the left, and I think they'll lose the middle. The pink yardstick has spoken.
People should be terrified by that. Joe Manchin was looking like he was going to be the most powerful person in the country. It might be Kristen Sinema. She might be the only person standing between socialism and the great abyss.
Well, maybe that's why so much of this COVID relief package isn't even spent this year. It's spent in future years, some of it up to 10 years from now.
Yeah, like the school
maybe that's
money.
So that. Yeah, so only 5% of the school money is going to be spent this year. Maybe that's because the Democrats anticipate losing their majority and they want to make sure the gravy train keeps flowing. But I don't know that they have much to worry about, because Republicans spent just as much. I got yelled at by the president for opposing a $2 trillion bill this time last year. And you know what?
I hope every president yells at you for voting down big bills. That's why you're great. Congressman, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Candy.